Hello, Batman fans. My name is Luke Abell, and I'm Batman. Just kidding. Anywhoosie, I'm so excited to show you how I made my very own Batman costume. In this video, I will take you step by step through the process of how I made it.
First, I had to make a plaster cast of my head. I had to make two molds, one at the front and one at the back. Of course, I had to leave nose holes so I could breathe. I sharpied where they intersect so the two casts would be even. Then I put the two halves together. I cut a styrofoam head into 5 separate pieces and duct taped them together. That's important for later in the process. I laid plastic wrap and clay into the front of my plaster cast. I placed the styrofoam head into the clay. I covered the mannequin head front and back to make another head my size. I started sculpting my cowl. I used a photo reference of the Dark Knight cowl to keep me on track. Here's the finished sculpt, but we're not done yet. Then to make a primer, I used blue spray paint. To make my mold, I covered the sculpt with plaster and plaster strips. I put on about 5 layers, an inch thick. Remember that styrofoam head? This is when I took the 5 separate pieces out and the clay as well. Then I could start pouring liquid latex in. This was a long process and took several layers and several hours. When it was all dry, I coated the latex with baby powder so it wouldn't stick when I pulled out the cowl. This is the finished cowl. Here you can see the side profile. And the back. And all that hard work was worth it. I went to the store and bought some black rain boots. I bought a black, full-body lycra suit.
Just kidding. Ha ha ha.
Here you can see the cape sewed onto the lycra suit. I asked my mom to paint some muscles onto the suit and cut eye and mouth holes naturally around my face. Here's the stencil I used on the front of the costume. The first step was to draw it. The second step was to cut it out with an X-Acto knife. This picture shows the placement before I painted it. To get this bright yellow, spray paint wasn't enough, so I ended up adding yellow acrylic paint. For the gauntlets, my friend and I cut them out from a recycled paint tray. The cuts were white, so I colored them with a black marker. I added black paint to make them look more metallic. I used an arm guard from when I used to play football and cut slits for the gauntlets to fit through. Here you can see where I cut the slits. I wore fingerless padded gloves. The logo was white, so I painted it black. Here it is all together: the lycra suit, arm guard, gauntlets, and gloves. this brings us to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed the journey that I went through making this costume. I know I did. Please like the video and tell your friends so that other people can check out my work. Have a wonderful day.
Bat out! I hope you enjoyed the journey that I took to becoming Batman. Because I am Batman. Bat out. Whoa. Are they gone? Oh, bat out. There's not really anywhere to escape to in here. I think I'm just gonna go. Bat out.